We are here with David Baszucki, the founder and CEO of the popular online gaming platform Roblox, which has around 85 million daily users. And as the leader of a platform that is especially popular among young people, we are going to talk about kid safety online. We're also going to talk a bit about the future of online gaming. David, thanks for being here.
Claire, thanks for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure, live from DC.
So you founded Roblox in 2005, well before online gaming was what it is today. What gave you this idea?
When it has an interesting history in educational software. And when I got out of college, I started an educational software company with the goal of teaching and helping people learn about physics. We built a somewhat revolutionary physics lab on the computer that was really interesting. You could model physics experiments and watch them and measure them, and teachers used it and students used it. When we went to the labs with a lot of the students, we found, in addition to doing their physics homework, they were trying to build worlds with this physics software, and they were building cars and buildings. And when we talked to the students, they wanted to jump into their creations. They wanted to share their creations. They wanted to have an avatar and go navigate their creations. So after that company was sold, and after I took a little break, that idea started coming back to us, and we had the vision of this confluence of creation, of being with friends, and all of these elements from that physics experience. And that was the first version of Roblox.
How do you describe what Roblox is now to people who have never been on the platform before?
It's a 3D immersive environment where everything on the platform is not made by traditional big studios. It's made by all of the people on the platform. Some of the people creating stuff are 9, some are 30. Early on, there was a hide and go seek experience on Roblox, and people would go when they couldn't be with their friends. They would play hide and go seek on Roblox. Fast forward to today, and we have experiences like Dress to Impress, where people go and every 10 minutes pick out and make an outfit and compete on a runway in a fashion show. And that's gone very viral amongst older people. So we're really seeing, with this notion of a 3D environment where people can create things, a wide array of types of things they're building. Traditional type gaming, learning experiences, entertainment experiences, all powered by the creator. And on the creator side, we have gone from early hobbyists to some people starting to make a living, to many, many businesses now. It's turned into an economic thing for many of these creative people as well.
Do you have a favorite experience on Roblox?
That is almost like asking me who's your favorite child. I like experiences that you wouldn't expect it to be a traditional game. One is Survive the Natural Disasters. It's you and I and our friends every 3 to 4 minutes are dropped on an island, and an unpredictable, kind of scary thing might happen, a hurricane or a lightning storm or a meteor storm. We have to run around and try to find a place to hide or survive, which is, it turned into a really social experience. Dress to Impress, very innovative, just because fashion is coming to the platform. So there are millions and millions of creations on the platform, and they're really, the platform has evolved to be a place where new types of play and immersion have started to show up.
Something that has always differentiated Roblox from many other online platforms is the fact that you really always have been welcoming to kids, to young users. How important are young users to your business?
I look back, and in a way, I feel is very fortunate that we started as a all-age platform, all the way from 6 through 60. And in a way, starting that way was much more difficult. We didn't have, arguably, the crutch of saying we're over 13. We had to be thinking about all users from day one. And sometimes constraints lead to innovative behavior. I think it has led to this notion of thinking about different age groups, thinking about under 13, 13 through 17, 18 and up, and what each of them need in their developmental phase on the platform. And it has, in an elegant way, led to where we are today, where the majority of people on our platform are over 13 now. One of the fastest growing segments is 17 through 24, where we're seeing more traditional gaming, and has really led to the thought of how do we keep a civil and optimistic platform with all of these different ages.
Do you know how many of the approximately 90 million users who are on the platform daily, how many of those are kids under the age of 18?
We do. We have stats for all of that. And we do see that average age on our platform going from under 13 to more than 13. And over 60% of the people on the platform now are over 13.
Got it. But so that's almost half that are under 13 still, even
That's
if
right.
it's aging.
Roughly
Interesting.
40%.
Will you just talk us through the process of making an account on Roblox and what kinds of information you ask from users when they're signing up?
So we're very clear that all of the communication on our platform, both under 13 as well as 18 up, does go through our filtering system, does go through our moderation system, does go through all of the systems we use for safety on the platform. So for anyone on the platform, come to the platform, you can sign up. In certain regions under 13, there'll be parental consent involved for certain types of things. We will then start essentially putting you into our safety system and watching what is being, texted and communicated to others.
Got it. But you sign up, presumably you put a birthday in as you sign up, and that's how you're getting a sense of who's who on the platform.
That's correct.
The platform makes money when people spend Robux, the online currency on Roblox. What sorts of things can people buy with Robux?
It's almost like the physical world. In some of the experiences on Roblox, early on, you could buy a scooter. And if you wanted to go from one place to the other, if you had the scooter, you could go a little more quickly. And so people would start buying a scooter and do that. There was an early simulator where you could be a bird on Roblox, and as you evolve and catch bugs and fly around and be a bird, you would evolve from a pigeon to an eagle. And the creator, the very savvy creator, said, look, if you want to become an eagle more quickly, you can spend some Robux. And so it creates an interesting market dynamic where for most people it's free. Our creative developers have figured out an elegant way in certain cases for users to spend currency.
Can any game be monetized in that way? Can any creator add an optional Robux purchase?
Absolutely, within, of course, our constraints of civility and PII and legal constraints and all of that. So we could actually brainstorm if you and I were building a game on Roblox. If we were, I like to come back to fashion because I've got I love Project Runway. I like the creation, and that's one of the things we're trying to simulate is ultimately people building fashion on Roblox. So if you and I were building a fashion game, we could sell zippers in our fashion game. And if we just said, hey, we're going to have a fashion game, but anyone who wants a zipper needs to buy the zipper, everything else is free, that would be fine. And many creators figure out stuff like that.
And can any user spend Robux? Is there an age cutoff for that?
So users under 13 have a couple options when they're really young. They can, their parents will buy them a gift card at any supermarket, and then they can put that in as a way to get Robux. Their parents can let them purchase on their iPhone, for example. Some parents let them do that. So there's various ways to get Robux into the system between a both younger and older user.
Last year, there were a series of reports about safety concerns on Roblox. In particular, Bloomberg reported on people who had been arrested for abusing children they met on the platform, concerns about bullying, kids accessing inappropriate content. And something you said that I thought was interesting is that if parents are worried about safety, don't let your kids go on Roblox. Is that still your message to parents?
90 million people are on our platform every day. They have amazing experiences. We have zero tolerance for bad actors on the platform, and that's bullying, that's terrorism, that's bad content. We work with local and federal and international law enforcement. And the goal really is ultimately to make Roblox the safest place on the internet. And I also, we're here in DC today introducing more ways for parents to work with their families, to know what experiences their young players might be playing, or to be aware of who their friends are, to block certain experiences if they so want to. But we are big believers in connecting families together and giving parents choices. And what I said on the BBC is, if a parent is uncomfortable really about anything their kid is doing, not just Roblox, but whatever they're doing, we would defer to that parent to make a decision. And so the technical thing I said is, if parents are uncomfortable with anything, we trust the parent in that case.
Got it. Talk a little bit about the rules or protections that Roblox has implemented to protect kids and teens on the platform.
This has evolved, as you can imagine, from those first days when it was the four of us watching abuse reports to 4 years ago, before AI really got exciting and everyone was hearing about generative AI and ChatGPT and all of that. There was a subset of companies that were innovating in AI very early on. We were one of them. We were developing AI models to look at all the text on our platform, to look at all the content on our platform, to help really make better decisions and look at more things. So over the last 4 years, we've developed 200 plus AI models. We've developed models that are very, very good at detecting bullying on a text stream. We've developed models that are very good at understanding content on the platform. What is actually being built? We've developed models that are very good at analyzing voice, which is very, very difficult. And as part of this expertise, we fast forward to where we are today. Arguably, our voice safety model is one of the best in the industries, and we open sourced it because we want other companies to have access to that.
Yeah, I imagine voice is an especially tricky thing to create a model around, just because making sure that you understand accents and tone and all of these sort of nuances that come with voice instead of text. I want to ask too about the parental controls that you've rolled out fairly recently. If there's a parent listening, how do you make sure that you know your kid is on Roblox? Talk about the relationship that needs to happen so that parents can get plugged in and use those tools.
There's such a wide range of families and lifestyles and parents, and how much parents are involved with their kids. And we have a lot of parents very deeply involved watching the iPad, the device. But we do realize the reality that other parents, here's a tablet, just go do something with it. And we have to think about both. So we ship safety innovations all the time. We want to make it very, very safe and focus when parents are not involved. But when parents are involved, what we rolled out now is giving a bit more of a dashboard. What are the young people in my family playing? Who are their friends? Can I block those friends if I want? If there's certain types of experiences on Roblox that I don't want my younger one playing, I can turn those off as well. It's a continuation, really, and ultimately we see more and more parents playing with their younger members. We see parents using this as a way to stay in touch and communicate and have fun. We see sometimes friends who go off to different schools in different states using Roblox as a way to connect. So I think more and more, as we think more ages are on the platform and we're seeing more things around maybe going to a concert or doing educational things on the platform, parents will naturally be more and more involved.
You are in Washington, D.C. today, and obviously over the last few years, there has been lots of talk in Congress about kid safety online, not a lot of action. Can you tell me about the conversations that you're having today and what you think lawmakers need to do on this issue?
Interestingly enough, Senator Klobuchar and Senator Cruz are aligned on a bill called the Take It Down Act. And the Senate interviewed a lot of CEOs in the last year talking about some of the problems that are happening on the internet, one of which is catfishing, image sharing, and ultimately for young people, technically almost blackmailing. Kids accidentally share pictures of themselves, they go viral in the school, and really bad things can happen about that. So the Take It Down Act says if a platform is allowing image sharing and they get a notification, look, I don't want that thing, that's got to go down in 48 hours. We're very supportive of that. Roblox doesn't allow image sharing, and any images that are used in the creation of a game we scan with AI and with humans as well. So this is a big problem for young people, and we're very supportive of that one. There's another bill coming forward, COPA 2.0. COPA 1.0 was a very innovative child privacy measure. We have always been supporters and fully compliant with COPA. It gets into how kids could be targeted with advertising and how their personal information might be used for advertising. COPA 2.0 strengthens that. We're big believers in privacy for kids around the world. The advertising systems that we've announced target only 18 and up users, not under 18. So we're also here supporting that as well. And I would say the other reason we're here is we've worked with a lot of safety technology measures for the last 18 years. So what I have seen on the Hill in DC is both sides of the aisle, our legislators really want to write great bills, and they want to do the right thing. And the extent which we can provide a resource for them, we're here for that as well.
Do you worry that with everything that's going on in Washington, and there is a lot going on, that could further slow or reduce the likelihood that we actually see kids' safety legislation passed?
We have taken the approach, whether it comes to legislation, whether it comes to technology, we cannot wait. So the way we run Roblox is we do what we believe is right for our customers and for connecting the world with optimism and civility. An example would be the California Age Appropriate Design Code. That was legislation that came to California where we supported that, but we were already doing all of the measures in that legislation. And so we could be a natural supporter of that. I mentioned the under 13, over 13. That's something where we are not waiting for that. We believe safety, even for 13 to 17-year-olds, is a really critical thing. There's not much legislation when you get over 13 right now, so we're taking that upon ourselves. I would also say that there's been discussion around whether mobile phone vendors and PC vendors should age assure on the device. That we don't know the timing on that, but we've taken our own steps irrespective of that, and we can't wait for that or have that be a hedge or excuse
Mm.
for not doing things. So we're moving into better and better ways of doing selfie ID. For 18 and up, we do photo ID. So we're not waiting, and at the same time, we want to help and support wise legislation.
One of the things we like to do on the show is do the sort of news you can use piece. So I want to ask if you have any specific online safety tips to share for kids or for parents on Roblox.
My tip would be, parents, you might have some fun being on Roblox with your youngster. So my encouragement would be today, parents, if you can connect with your youngers on the platform, and as parents, you might actually find other interesting things to do on your own on the platform as well, as we start to see more and more interesting things for older players too.
I feel like I may be hearing some kids groan, like, oh no.
Uh, I'm optimistic because the breadth of experiences is so big on the platform. There's a little less of the cringe, oh, my parents on the same platform, because it's like young people have this, older people have this. There's a wide range of. It's as if two people are on YouTube or Netflix or whatever. There's less of that cringe factor.
And just to wrap up here, looking ahead to the future of Roblox, you have previously said that you'd like to get a billion users on the platform. How do you convince hundreds of millions more people to join and spend time on the platform?
I think the key is we don't convince. I think the key is we keep the focus on creating an amazing platform with amazing technology that allows people to connect and communicate. We build a safe and civil platform. We support amazing creators who can make bigger and more interesting businesses, someday building really interesting things that 70-year-olds are going to love on our platform side by side, the 6 and the 17s and those. So I think by focusing on that, we're not in the convincing business. We're in the building the ecosystem where the platform speaks for itself.
Well, David, thank you so much for doing this. This has been a really interesting conversation.
Claire, thank you for having me on your podcast.